for Monday, October 16th at 6:30. And let's start with roll call.
Michael Murray. Richard Yerington.
Present.
Sean Sabinsky.
Here.
John Glenn.
Here.
Nicole Hart. Lamont Kiefer.
Here.
Nellie Pater. Dean Peterson.
Here.
We have a
We have a quorum, so let's start with the city clerk.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few updates from the clerk's office. We've been pretty busy with open enrollment. It ends in 5 days, so everybody getting their things in at the last minute. Been meeting individually with a lot of employees who have questions. Just kind of an update, we will be putting a newly appointed list of election workers out to you in the December agenda. So we've already sent out new applications to everybody. We've got over 60 people who will be sending out free applications to, so that's great. One of the things I promised to update you all on was the Assembly Bill 304, which was relating to alcohol beverage licenses and bartender licenses. And we have not had an update on that since the public hearing that was in August. There was a lot of back and forth about parts of the bill that people, in particular, people who own barns that have like barn dances or weddings, and these wedding barns would be seriously affected by this particular bill, the way it's written. So there was a lot in there to talk about that, but since August I have not seen an update. So I'll continue to update you as I hear more. And then lastly, I think
I skipped something.
did you?
Yeah, the approval of minutes from September 18th.
Well, I can finish up if you want me to.
Yep, let's finish up.
Then I don't have to talk anymore. All right, for HR related, I told you about open enrollment already, and then we have one more policy change on the agenda tonight, tomorrow, and then after that, hoping to have the finalized book, new personnel handbook in front of you next month. So, does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thanks. So the first item I should have done first was the approval of the minutes from September 18th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is Molly.
Good evening. First is the cash and investments report for September 30th of 2023. Once again, nothing too exciting. We did make the final payment on the emergency services building. So Fund 8, our capital fund, decreased by around $500,000. That fund, the 2022A and the 2023A, all of those funds should be spent within the next couple of years because that's money we borrow for our capital projects. So it's not meant to hold cash, it's just a temporary, those are temporary investment accounts. Any questions on that?
Thanks. Next is the preliminary August revenues and expenditures.
I think you have to vote to approve.
Do we have to vote to approve it?
Yeah, the
Okay.
cash.
Motion to approve cash and investments report. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Question. What projects are left to be funded out of that 23 bonding?
The 23 bonding includes the Flare Avenue. That's the large portion that's left. I think there's about $2.5 million there left to be spent out of those funds.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, then I have included the revenue and expenditures with comparison to budget through August 31st. Any questions on that? And then I don't have a ton for a report. You guys heard a lot out of me a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to give you a little bit of a break. We do have a few debt service payments coming up at the end of the month. Those are interest only. The second payments for each of our large borrowings over the last few years. For those who are watching who did not see the budget workshop, I reported at last month's Committee of the Whole that we were going into our budget meetings at a deficit of $275,000. Again, amazed by the work of department heads working together to find cuts where they could, and we were able to present a balanced budget at our workshop. We will hold the budget hearing on Tuesday, November 21st at 6:30. Unless anyone has any questions. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to cut in there with her, and that the Lake Committee budget meeting will also be at 6:15, directly before the 6:30 meeting. I don't know if we talked about that before, and I just thought I'd jump in there and mention it.
It's the annual
Lake Committee.
rehabilitation.
Sorry.
That's fine. Any other questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Parks and Recreation. Joe.
Good evening. Parks and Recreation Department, the Parks Department just busy still with shelter rentals. We had a ribbon cutting for the music equipment at Rotary Plaza down at Winnebago Park. That was a nice event on October 3rd. Still doing some mowing, clearing some areas. Public Works has been assisting with us, did a great job at Veterans Park. If you haven't been there, the new roadway and some parking there behind the soccer concession and bathroom up there, so thank you for all their work with those projects in Winnebago Park as well, and striping our new roadways and stuff, and very fortunate to have them work with us on that. Working with contractors at the new ball field site on Flair Avenue. If you haven't been out there, they're starting to work on that, putting in, we're running a little bit of issue with the foundations for the big light poles for the outfield, so we're working through that, seeing how we can adjust that. So more to come with that, but good to see they have the foundation down for the concession stand in the bathroom, so hopefully continue to move along with that. Working with Public Works again on the scout cabin. We're getting a survey done for the hillside there to make sure where the lot line is, so we're putting a little retaining wall type thing and getting that area dried up so we can, there's a few logs we're going to replace on that side once we get it dried up. And we're going to do some water lines through there for a future bathroom in that area to work through, and hopefully they have that ready to go for rental this coming spring and summer. So finally getting to that as things slow down through the summer months here. Recreation programs, we're finishing up our outdoor fall programming. Open gym started this past Sunday. Youth basketball sign up started today. Still working on recruiting officials for adult basketball league. Hopefully we can find enough to have that program, and starting to work on cleaning after your blessing to use the fire station and former ambulance. We're starting to check some HVAC areas, make sure everything's cleaned up, ready to go. We'll get that cleaned up in the next couple of months. Hopefully start offering some rentals and programming here in the winter. Aquatic Center will be finishing fall winterization this week. We got a few things to do tomorrow, and we're going to start filling the deep end this week and get it all buttoned up before the weekend when the weather starts turning cold. Backtracking to the parks, we'll try to keep our bathrooms open in outdoors till Halloween is our kind of goal for those trick-or-treaters, unless the weather takes a turn. Right now it looks okay, but if it gets really freezing, we'll start winterizing our outdoor bathrooms. So we've got one through the end of this month. Recreation Park, you can see our activities. Things are really starting to get busy out there with all our fall banquets, weddings, quinceaneras, gun shows, Glen Miller auctions, so forth, and just kind of juggling that with the woodsmen and their access to the area for the locker rooms for this year. With that, bids are advertising for the Ice Center addition, and thank the City Clerk Becky for helping with that. I believe it's November 7th we have the bid opening for that, so that's right around the corner. So hopefully with that we can at least get the locker rooms within budget, so we can move that out of rec building next year if the Woodmans continue to stay, but also to expand programming in the Ice Center for our programming in the Tomah Youth Hockey. But just a reminder, we did put more alternates on this bid for the dryland ice area, storage, so we have more alternates to hopefully get, at least the locker rooms within that budget we have allocated for that. So other than that, just plugging away for that. So any questions or concerns?
Joe, is there a strong bodies class being held out at the fairgrounds?
Mondays and Wednesdays mornings.
When?
Mondays and Wednesday mornings.
Okay. Do you know what time?
I believe it's like 9 to 10. I can get you some of the instructors' contact number if you would like. So, I know Dee Dee Nelson on our park board help teaches that. Shirley Roll does. So,
Okay.
let me know.
And our new restroom at the boat landing down in Baker Park, is that closed too? That's not a year-round?
We'll keep that up as long as we can until it really gets cold, but that is not a year-round.
That may be longer than others, or the last one in
Yeah,
the
correct.
cycle? Or?
Yep. Be nice for the fishing boaters until it gets really cold. Questions or concern? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Next is Public Works and Utilities. Kurt.
Good evening. Street Department pretty much kind of concentrating on their storm sewers throughout town. If you're down by the airport, by the brush pile, we're doing some major cleaning out of that ditch there and try to get the water to get back to the way it was, running a little bit better. Otherwise, we're anticipating the leaves to start falling here shortly, so we got the leaf vac getting ready, testing that out to make sure it runs good. Just a reminder, if you can put your leaves on the boulevard, keep any sticks or rocks or other items out of there. That helps us out quite a bit to pick that up. And another thing I wanted to add, on October 28th, it's a Saturday, we're partnering with Parks and Rec at the Aquatic Center parking lot, and that is for a free e-recycling collection event. This is put on by the people that we work with out of La Crosse. So this is a great opportunity for residents to bring their items there and have that company pay to recycle them instead of the city. So I'd really encourage everybody to take their things and take advantage of that. Again, October 28th, it's on a Saturday, it's from 9 to noon at the Aquatic Center parking lot. Sewer department, pretty much operations are normal. We did accept bids on mechanical installation of the equipment that we've recently purchased. So we're finalizing that. The contracts are just getting through the process right now. We have been out cleaning some sewers, not a whole lot, but we just don't have a lot throughout the city anymore, but there are some that we want. There are some areas that we do hit every year just because of known problems in the past. Water department, operations are pretty much normal. We had our citywide flushing first week in October. It went well. Always helps us to improve the water quality in the system. Doing that, it gets us a chance to operate a lot of valves and our equipment out there. And in case of emergency, you always want those things to work properly. We did have a water main break on Hollister and Benton, and just one of those aged infrastructure, whatever the reason was, but I think it was a Thursday night late, and we had that fixed Friday and put back pretty much to its original state. We do have a number of asphalt patches that the crews are also working on to fix around town just before that white stuff comes and hits us. Otherwise, the Lake Committee, we have a meeting scheduled for November. It'll be on 11/16/23 at 5 o'clock in the council chambers. Any questions?
Okay, one other comment, Kurt, for the Lake Committee. We've been looking at riprap along the lake shore, and we've got citizens have complained before about people taking the rocks and throwing them in the lake. It's fun to throw the big rocks and watch them splash, and parents take their kids and they like to watch them. But it's really a detriment to our lake shore, and it costs us money because then we have to replace them. And now we have a spot over in Winnebago Park where we put in all accessible pier observation deck with some benches on it, and that pad was poured very close to the lake shore. So people are sick. I look right out my window in my house, and it's a lot of parents. I don't like to single them out, but they are, who's doing it, take their little kids and they sit on the edge and they're throwing these rocks in, and by taking away the riprap, it's washing away the shore, and it's going to subvert that pad, and it's going to break that pad up. So the Lake Committee has taken the initiative to make some little signs, please don't throw rocks, and with Parks and Rec Director Prats, we're going to get those signs up soon. And we've also put an some informational literature on our main dock signboards that explains this, that rocks aren't naturally occurring along the shores of Lake Tomah. We have to take them there and put them there. Taxpayers buy them, and we have to haul them and set them there. And so we would really like the public to cooperate and not throw those rocks into the lake anymore.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to my...
Have you got Berry Avenue on your list for pothole repair?
Berry Avenue.
Or Larkin, coming off of ET, coming down past the smokehouse and the new development there?
The one that comes to mind is they just cut in a new service to a building, so that'll have to be...
Well, it's potholes in the street that are quite large.
I don't, but I'll relay the message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Police Department, Chief.
Good evening. Couple things on staffing. We're accepting applications for our vacant patrol officer position. That's we're taking those till November 11th. Currently have 2 total applications. We're also in the process of filling the lieutenant position, investigator position, and community service officer position. Had a meeting with the Police Fire Commission today. We made some headway, and we have a plan moving forward. Trick-or-treating is October 31st, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our officers will be handing out candy. If you see a black and white squad car out there, stop, say hi, you may get some candy. And we're doing some trunk or treat events this year, so I think there's 2, maybe 3 that we're going to be involved in. Officer Blackhawk is going to Canada on October 20th for training. He'll be up there for a week, and he'll be returning with our new canine. Kirk and I met last week, drove around the city to pinpoint locations where we're going to put the radar speed signs. So there's 6 of them. They're in, and hopefully we can get those installed yet this year. Our new records management system is now up and running to its full capacity. The new building generator project is now 100% completed, I believe. That went over quite well. Our second new squad car for this year has finally been delivered to our upfitting company. That car is going to replace an older vehicle we have, and then what we're going to do is give it to the fire department. They'll use it as the old vehicle. They'll use it as an administrative vehicle. The city server project that we obtained a grant for is underway. They're working on it this week, could possibly be completed this week. If not, it'll be early next week. And lastly, we just went through the budget hearings. I met with all of my non-represented employees about that. Let them know what they can expect for a raise next year. All of them across the board very happy, very appreciative, so thank you. Any questions for me at all? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Next item, Chamber and Convention Visitors Bureau. Tina.
Good evening. Just a couple quick notes for you here. Registration for our holiday parade is now open. The theme is A Night Under the Stars, keeping in line with the theme throughout the entire year of stars, basically. We've had a couple ribbon cuttings in the recent past. One for Core Inc., on North Superior and one for the new Latino grocery store in the former Phillips Pharmacy location. So very positive feedback from both of those. Lot of really great interest generated for the Latino grocery store downtown. So excited about that. One note: we did move our career and job fair. Well, the school district has moved our career and job fair to January, up from the April-May we normally have it. So that'll be coming up January 26th. With the workforce shortages, that's been a pretty popular event, so doing it a little bit early this year for a couple reasons. Lastly, I'll be rescheduling our October CBB meeting, hopefully for next week. We had to postpone it due to a family funeral, but we will get that back on the schedule. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move to the general portion of the agenda, and item number 8, second-hand article dealer license application for Creative Tech Team LLC of tomah.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 9, temporary Class B license application by Queen of the Apostles to sell fermented malt beverages at its Queen of the Apostles Fall Fest on October 29th, 2023.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, approval of a vehicle personal policy change. Personal policy change.
So I can talk to this a little bit. I think Joel may be able to, I'm going to call you out, Joel, a little bit, or Kirk, if you have anything to add to it. But basically, right now, the current language does not allow employees, other than the police chief or his designee, to take a vehicle that they use home. What we'd like to do is keep the policy the same, but add in the wording unless otherwise approved by department director. Only because there are times, especially when we're talking about snow removal or overnight things where someone might have to travel to have to come here and get the vehicle, and then it actually takes more time for them to get where they need to go. So it would just be less efficient, and we're not getting things done as quickly, and that's kind of the basis for it. It wouldn't be everyone, but it would have to be done by department directors. So we're just looking to add that little bit of language in there, as you might see on the staff.
So if I understand this correctly, this opens it up to the other departments besides the police department?
Correct.
And how many do we think might use it?
You got the fire chief and the ambulance assistant director that have take vehicles home consistently.
I think there's a number of departments that have done this out of just efficiency, I guess. I know I have. I monitored major storm events for over 24 hours. And part of our monitoring is to look at the creeks at Reels Valley, and that's where I live, out there. It did not make any sense for me to come in and get the vehicle, drive back out, and do that type of thing. So it's really, we're putting the onus on the department head to, use that as a tool for them and not be abusive. That's where we're at.
Fine.
So we
Move to approve.
motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11 is approval for adoption of state records retention guidelines.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Last, we have resolution authorizing the payment of a monthly.
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bills. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Oh, wait, I think Richard said something.
I bring up a question in regards to the bills. The electric bill at the new emergency response building, how is that in proportion to what the other two departments were before combined?
I'd have to look into that. I don't have the information at the tip of my, on top of mind, but I can get that for you tomorrow.
No, that'd be fine.
Thank you, guys. Meeting is adjourned.
That's in the bill.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Michael Murray,
Here.
Travis Schulze.
Here.
Richard Harrington.
Present.
Sean Zavinski. Here. John Glenn.
Here.
Nicole Hart. Here. Lamont Kiefer.
Here.
Nellie Pater. Here. Dean Peterson.
Here.
Is there anyone desiring to appear before the council at this time? If not, we will move on to the mayor's report. I'd like to thank Councilperson Pater for bringing this back to my mind, but the city lost a great person in the form of Wayne Bud Johnson, who was a former mayor of the community. Through his tireless efforts down to the ballparks, we have a ballpark named after him. A lot of my youth was spent watching Bud play a lot of fast pitch softball, and then even into my adulthood when he sat in this seat and looked over many meetings, looked over the city of Tomah, was a staunch supporter of the city of Tomah, did a lot of great things for the city, and we pass on our best to his wife and his kids. And again, Bud was a great man, a former mayor, and may he rest in peace. I'd also like to take a minute to thank, we had the budget meeting, and we talked about these things during the budget. Greg was not here, but I think it's important for the members of the community to know how grateful as a council we are. I'm grateful to the council for the hours that they put in dealing with the budget. To all of our department heads, when you're talking a city of this size and trying to balance a budget, and there's costs continue to rise, needs continue to rise, but just an absolutely amazing job by our set team, by our department heads. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our treasurer. I thank Molly for all the hours and effort that she put in to get to where we needed to be, to where for another year as a community, we are sitting in a position that a lot of communities aren't. That we can rest easy that not only is the budget in good place, but we are also sitting very healthy as a city because of all these efforts. So please be proud of yourselves, and again appreciative towards everybody in department heads as well as management team. So we will move on to the senior executive team. Kirk, good evening.
Good evening. As you said, a lot of our focus was on the budget this last month, but we did have a few items to point out. Still working with Vanderwall on conceptual plans for development in TID 10. Also some potential zoning ordinance amendments with them as well, and always pursuing potential city expansion development. We did get comments back from the city attorney on the solar lease that we had brought to you quite some time ago for them on. And just yesterday or today, I can't remember, we did get comments back from them. They are willing to make those amendments and working on that right now. So hopefully that'll keep moving forward, and we can bring that to you for lease potential. Treasurer is also working diligently with Ellers on long-range planning for the city. And there's a little bit of a laundry list, which is good, for ribbon cuttings, some meetings as well. Any questions from set perspective? Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. We'll move on to public safety. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, everyone. You have my written report. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, just a couple bullet points here. Again, 35 firemen on the department right now. I'm currently sponsoring 4 people through the Western Technical College entry-level class for possible future hirings. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that going forward. It's been a busy couple weeks. Going to be a couple more busy weeks in October here. It's Fire Prevention Month, so this is the time for those that are out there listening that just kind of make sure that you take time with your families and prepare for an event if something would happen in your household or at work. Check your smoke detectors, make sure those are working and functioning properly, and stay up on fire prevention, please, with your families. So a couple other things. 2 of our largest fundraisers are in place and occurring here right shortly. One of them is our calendar event. I always bring that up every year. Next Monday night we'll be out around the community delivering these calendars to all the homeowners and the businesses that sponsor the calendar. And then on November 4th, Saturday, we have our annual Hunters Night Out event, which is a great fundraiser for us. And just a reminder that both these fundraisers allow us to go out and purchase equipment, and we do specialized trainings. We have people come into the department, put on things that we can get a little bit more educated on to keep our skill set up on things, and we can do all this without me coming and asking for taxpayer money to do it. So again, fundraising is better than it's ever been with the Tomah Fire Department. We'll continue to keep that going, and as the years go on, you're going to see more and more things. As I indicated on the new emergency service grounds, that we got a training ground in the back, and we're going to be buying props and different things, and I won't be coming and asking you folks for money. We'll be doing that all through our fundraising efforts. So excited to see that build. Other than that, EMS wise, indicated the last couple months that we're down 1 individual. We continue to advertise for it. It's been a struggle. We've interviewed several folks. I'm telling you, our wages are not there right now. Everybody that we've interviewed said, I just can't leave where I'm at to go and make less money. So we decided within the last couple weeks, we are internally interviewing some EMTs that are more than qualified, and actually 2 of them are in paramedic school. So I believe in the next week or so we'll probably be offering to one of those individuals and filling that position. So in the meantime, a little bit overtime to help fill them spots, but trying to again do it with part-time help here. So sometimes you have to do what you got to do to keep the spot filled. So other than that, the SET team and Penny and myself were getting close to getting going here on the negotiations for the service. Hopefully we can get that ratified here going into November. So other than that, that's about all I got. So.
I have a question, Tim. On your monthly report,
Yes.
for September, you have a total of 7 down there. What's that for?
7.
Yeah, it just says total 7. Not sure.
Number of calls by municipality.
Yeah, that's kind of a skewed number. I'd have to get with Adam. He kind of tracks that stuff.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I think it's kind of a mix of some different things, but
Oh.
yeah, there's no real good answer to it, and it keeps coming up on us. We just know it's in the call volume, and it splits out differently. So.
I just saw that 7.
Yep. No, I wish I had a better answer for you.
Okay.
Question, in regards to the bills, the monthly invoices, Alliant 2342, is that the total bill or the ambulance's share of the bill?
Say that again.
Under Alliant Energy on the invoices, $2,342.
That would be the ambulance portion, yes.
So what the total bill would have been about what? 4,000?
No, I believe we got it at 70-30, if I remember right, on electric. I'd have to get with Christie. We got it all formulated out, so I believe the electric is 70-30. So I'm not that great with math, without looking at the bill itself. So if you ever wanna look at that stuff, let me know.
How does that electric bill for the one building compared to the two buildings from before?
We've only gotten a couple bills so far, you know, and it's been kind of a fluke. It's been kind of up and down just because we had a couple months there where we had some weeks that was 100 degrees in the 90s and things like that, you know, so we're really still trying to figure this out. I got, Alliance sends me a chart every month so I can see the heating and cooling days for each month, and again, that's hopefully going to help us develop a plan going forward, because when we went into the budget cycle here, you know, we're just throwing out a number, hoping that we're going to hit close. So I'm hoping it's high, the budget's high, and we can continue to drop it down, but again, it all comes in with the season and how much the air is running and how much the air handlers are running and how much the heat's running and all that stuff, so.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We will move on to the library. Good evening, Ms. Herman.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. So, statistics. Checkouts of ebooks, 1,904. If any of you would like to know how to use the online ebooks, let us know. For you out there, anybody watching, if you would like some help, we would be very happy to help you. The ebook checkouts continue to rise. September physical library checkouts, 4,428 for a total of 6,332. In the children/young adult department, on October 26th, we will be showing a very scary movie called The Visit. Now, that's only for young adults. So if you want to watch it, you're going to have to watch it on your own. But it looks really creepy. On November the 2nd, we will be showing Coco, which is not creepy. For the adult department, November 9, we will be showing Mission Impossible, the latest Mission Impossible, at 5:30. On that same night, we are going to start a 4-week class, Introduction to Machine Sewing. There are people who don't know how to use a sewing machine. I'm here to help you, and I'll do it for 4 weeks. It's not too soon to start thinking about our annual fundraiser, and that is in December. We welcome donations. Somebody just recently bought us some Bose speakers. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I have a book. Bruce and the Legend of Soggy Hollow. Bruce was a bear without holiday spirit. He didn't like Easter, he didn't like Christmas, he didn't like Thanksgiving, and he especially didn't like Halloween. If you want to know how this turns out, come to the library.
That's not fair.
Now we have meetings with cliffhangers.
Wow.
Does anybody have any questions for me? And no, I will not tell you how the
Yeah,
book
how does the
turns
book
out. I'm
turn
not
out?
telling you how the book turns out. Anybody else? Anybody? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Herman. All right, we will move on to the Senior and Disabled Services. Good evening, Ms. Pamela.
Hello. Halloween time. Halloween coming up. You saw this last month. You're going to see it again this month. Halloween is celebration in Tomah is on Halloween. Although, if you go on the chamber website, they have a whole poster with, I'm going to say it wrong, trunk
and treat?
trunk and treats that are like the weekend before or the weekend before that, and there's a lot of celebrations. But the city's trick-or-treat hours are 5 to 8 on Halloween. The party is 4:30 to 6:30, costume judging at 5:15. I'd like to see you all there in costume. And they all look at me.
I'm terrifying enough.
Do these work?
Okay, flu immunization clinic at the senior center on this Thursday, October 19th, from 12:30 to 2:50. So if you don't want to leave town and go someplace else, you can come to the clinic, and the Monroe County Health Department is doing the flu clinic at the senior center. On Halloween itself, the senior center will close at 12:30 after lunch so that we can pile Halloween stuff in the car and take it over and decorate and set up for the Halloween party. Numbers. In September, 1,927 participants and 208 volunteer opportunities that were filled. So I liked that. We're going strong there. The activities are going strong. I don't usually talk about the bingo and euchre and all of that here, but they're going strong and consistent. We have a resource contact information book in the magazine racks by the front and back door of the senior center. I would ask if anybody has any information on snow shovelers, rakers, lawn rakers, and those kinds of things, to please give me contact names and contact information so I can add that to the resource contact booklet. Yesterday, someone came in and said, I have an apartment for rent, and this is what it costs in first floor, and today I ran into two people looking at the senior center looking for an apartment, so it was so fulfilling to be able to say, oh, here's some information, and connect. Whether anything comes of it, I don't know, but it was very nice to be able to do that. This week also is Medicare drug plan reviews on Thursday from 12 to 4 by Alice Ackerman from the ADRC, Monroe County's ADRC. She is phenomenal, and I encourage anybody with questions or the need to understand those things better to come and talk with her. And on Wednesday the 25th, she is doing a Medicare Advantage Plan changes presentation. And again, if it's a maze out there for Medicare, come and listen to her and talk with her. She's very good at it. Adaptive Fitness for All class changed this month from Thursdays to Fridays, and it's going. We anticipate that to grow as time goes on. Sunday Funday was this last Sunday. We met at this bowling alley, and we had about 40 people there. It was very good turnout. Strange things sometimes happen. Scott, thank you for Scott. Scott is the maintenance man, and he came over and spent the day yesterday, or part of the day, helping us with things. And when he came, we ended up having a window broken in the apartment on the second floor. But when he came there, it wasn't broken. So somebody threw rocks and broke a window on the second floor of the building yesterday during the day. So strange things happen. We just have to handle it, and Scott is helping us do that. Thank you for him. This week, Sunday through Sunday, is our first, just to update you on this, is our first family staying for Family Promise program. Remember, you gave us permission to try this for the equivalent of 3 months Well, this week would be the first. And it's working out well. I just talked with them before I left to come here, and the families seem to be really appreciative and doing well there. And the volunteers are also saying very positive things. So, and my evening activities or late afternoon activities in them are dovetailing, and everybody's learning to work together for that. So that's going well. I do need more donations for Halloween. So if you know of people who are inclined to donate for the Halloween, the Halloween party is free, and it's all done on donations and sponsorships. And so some has come in, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you to those who have, but we need some more. So
In what form?
money.
Okay.
I order about $1,000 worth of, $900,000 worth of candy, and the equivalent, and also about that much of game prizes. The candy, when I first started doing this about 30 years ago, candy was donated, but we like to be able to tell people that we get it right from the company and it's not going into second or third hands. So there's a safety factor there. So we prefer cash so we can pay, or money so we can pay for ordering that and for that safety factor.
And appropriately packaged and everything.
Yes, appropriately
You're
packaged.
controlling the whole
And, yes, yes.
About a $2,000 budget you're working on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And we have categories: Great Pumpkin up to $99, Magicians $100 to $249, Genies $250 to $499, and Superheroes $500 and up. So, and brochures did go out, but I just need to bring that up. Any questions? You know, once you get me started about the senior center, I could talk forever. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why there's no questions.
Okay, planning and building inspection report. I believe that's in your package. I don't believe Shane's online, is he? No, okay. If you have any questions, I'm sure Kirk could answer any of them for you. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion for the approval of minutes for September 19th, 2023. Approval of minutes from October 3rd, 2023. Secondhand article dealer license application for Creative Tech Team LLC of Tomah. Temporary Class B license application by Queen of the Apostles to sell fermented malt beverages at its Queen of the Apostles Fall Fest on October 29th, 2023. And the September 30th, 2023 cash and investments report.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Zavinsky and a second by Glenn. Any discussion?
Are there minutes for 2 meetings in the beginning of October?
We just have the minutes right now for September and October. I don't have the other day on there right now.
What was, third was
It was the
budget?
Budget.
It was the
Weren't there
budget.
2 of those?
It was the third and the fourth, and I didn't have the fourth done.
Okay. You just think.
Okay.
I got it. Pretty slow.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the committee of the whole, I would entertain a motion for the approval of vehicle personnel policy change.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Kiefer, a second by Pater. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would entertain a motion regarding the approval for adoption of state records retention guidelines.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Yerington, a second by Zavinsky. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would entertain a motion regarding the resolution authorizing payment of monthly bills.
Let's pay the bills.
Second.
I have a motion by Kiefer, a second by Zavinsky. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85 1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Schulze, a second by Pater. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned to closed session.